It seems like every issue, every product, every political race is influenced these days by research and polling. And now in on the polling game is the University of Delaware. This is Paul Brewer. He's Associate Director of the University of Delaware Center for Politics?
Political Communication.
Political Communication. And you also help run the polls.
Yes. So we've been doing some polling lately because there isn't a lot of polling in the state of Delaware. We're trying to change that because we think that polling can help citizens understand what's going on in politics today.
And your most recent poll that got a lot of publicity was about marijuana. What were the results?
So we did a poll asking Delawareans whether they favored legalizing marijuana or not. And so 56% of Delawareans said they favored legalizing marijuana. Only 39% said that they opposed it. So that's a pretty solid majority of Delawareans in favor of legalizing marijuana.
And the question was phrased legalizing, not decriminalizing.
Exactly. We asked about legalizing, which is a bigger step than decriminalizing. We weren't asking about medical marijuana either. We were just asking legalizing marijuana or not.
That it really is fascinating because there's no legislation right now that I know of in the pipeline to legalize marijuana.
Well, there's talk in the legislature. I know that there are some legislators who are interested in this topic, and there's probably more talk about a bill to decriminalize marijuana. So that could be on the agenda of state politics in the near future.
As you look around the country at the colleges that do polling, the one that jumps out to me is Quinnipiac University. Everybody quotes their polls. You starting a poll, and they get so much publicity out of that. You starting a poll, are you hoping to aspire to do more national stuff?
We are going to we actually have a national poll in the field right now. So we have two goals. One is to do more polling on the Delaware level, find out what's going on in the state of Delaware. But we also want to speak to what's going on in the nation. So right now we're doing a poll, we're asking some questions. Lots of people are doing election polls, so we're trying to do something different. So we're asking about some issues that we think are really interesting and haven't necessarily received a lot of national attention.
When you go after a topic, do you think about what will get publicity for the university?
Yes, we do, because we're not just doing this, we're doing it for research purposes. We want to understand what's going on, but we also want to talk to the public. We want the public to have a better understanding of politics by talking to the public about our poll results.
Let's get back to the national poll, your first venture into national polling. What's the topic?
One of the topics that I'm particularly interested in how it turns out is net neutrality. So net neutrality is an issue that the Federal Communications Commission is dealing with right now. Basically, it's about the rules for internet service providers that give internet to people's homes, that give the internet to people's businesses. Right now, the FCC is thinking about changing the rules for those internet service providers, whether they can create fast lanes and charge some companies, like say Netflix or Amazon, more for those fast lanes, whether they can slow down or block sites. And so this is an issue that's going on kind of out of the public eye, but some people have tried to bring it to the public eye, like comedian John Oliver, who had a big episode about this and encouraged people to talk to the FCC about it and actually overloaded the FCC website. So there hasn't been a lot of polling on this issue, and we want to find out, what does the public think about net neutrality?
This is something that my 20-something son is very interested in and talks about all the time. And so he knew about it, and he's the one that educated me. I would think in your findings, and I don't know if you have any early findings yet, I would think in your findings you're going to find this is a generational problem, that some older people don't even know anything about it. Younger people might be more passionate.
It could be. That's one of the things that our poll will reveal. So we don't have the results yet, but in probably a week or two, we will.
What's the sample size for a national poll?
We're doing about 900, both for Delaware and for the national level. That gives us a margin of error about 4%. That's a pretty good number.
So you're going to do this first one, and how would you decide if it's successful or not?
If we find results that are new, and this is an area where there have been a couple polls, but not really what I would consider high-quality polling information. If we can find out something new, and this is an issue that's going on right now. The FCC is considering this. We want to talk to a public debate. If we get media coverage for this, if we help shape the debate, then I think that we've done a good job.
Well, look, I love polls. I think most people do, and I think that's, so I support what you're doing 100%, and I hope you're extremely successful with it. And it would be great to have a polling center in the greater Philadelphia area, in the Delaware area, or Baltimore area, and I hope you partner with one of the major outlets in those cities, because I think it would be fun to get more polls out of the University of Delaware. So best of luck to you. Great luck with it, and I hope to have you back. Next up, I'll tell you what, the net neutrality poll, would you come back and talk about it?
Sure. And we're going to be doing more polls in the future. This is something that we want to keep on going, and so I'd be happy to come talk about what we find. Wonderful.
And when we come back on the Delaware Way, a brand new and very interesting art exhibit in the city of Wilmington that has just a little bit of a criminal element when we return.